Hi, I'm David Johnson, owner, general manager of Gingerbread Homes. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about cottages today, how important they are in this society we live in now, and beneficial for a lot of reasons. One of the things that we try to do at Gingerbread Homes is we try to use real materials, real rock, and that fake cultured stuff that people are putting on their homes. We try to use all natural materials in the homes. Other things we try to do is we try to let design be the driver. Develop the concept of that little is better, because it's got a lot of the old stuff you would have seen in homes from hundreds of years ago. We're just trying to bring back some of the old styles from way back, and we've got all kinds of plans to do Gothic, Romanesque, Victorian, steampunk, historical authenticity, and the things that used to be important when designing homes. 200 years ago, an architect, Andrew Jackson Downing, believed that architecture and the fine arts could affect the morals of homeowners, that improvement of the external appearance of a home would help better all those who had contact with the home, hence the cottage style. He further stated, "In perfect architecture, no principle of utility will be sacrificed to beauty, only elevated and ennobled by it." When I was a boy of 7, I built my first tree fort in one of the trees in our yard, a rare thing in the middle of the semi-arid desert of the Navajo Reservation. I imagined myself climbing up the different limbs of the tree, like in the movie Swiss Family Robinson. And although there was no comparison between the two, of a necessity, I was on a seek and find budget. My first ideas of cottages came from the illustrations in the storybook Hansel and Gretel. Not only was the outside of the cottage edible, it was also pleasing to the eye and inviting. I learned a variety of motifs by pen and ink sketchings of some of the exteriors of my favorite buildings, like the Biltmore in Asheville, North Carolina, the old Red Courthouse in Dallas, Texas, and the old Swedish church in Millersburg, Minnesota, as well as the Edgerton Church in a detail in Edgerton, England. So conceptual ideas began to grow into real applications, and I saw the value in being able to take some of those motifs and put them to work. Then in 1997, Millennial Homes built a show home on the Navajo Reservation to show what could be done with a 2-bedroom cottage in a factory environment. And that was pretty exciting. Well, if we build it, they will come, and they did in droves. The factory concept at Millennial Homes came from my work at SRI, Moduline, Triple E, now Triple M, all Canadian operations. Then in 2006, experimented further with cottage designs and was building a cottage when tragedy struck. 2 fires, before and after. It devastated us, and we ended up buying a place in town.
The old gizmo on the And this is, what's the date today? Today is November the 9th, 2008.
I like this, and it's like nice. Yeah, it's nice. Nice big roof on it. Hey, Dad! Come up here and show me where your floor plans go, because I'm confused.
Okay, this is the new view of the new gizmo. Now it's changed a little bit since the last thing we did on it. Sorry, I'm covering up the gizmo there. There's Aaron. There it is. We're into the bedroom thing. This is the living room. Kitchen area right here. Dining room area right there. And we got a bedroom right here with a pop-out gizmo there. Window over there. Got a bathroom right there with the light up in the air. That's gonna be a skinny bathroom too. Got a master bedroom here.
Where we began to work on doing some renovations to an old house, not to be deterred, and In 2010, we pressed forward adding a cottage in the backyard of an older home as an addition, but once again, tragedy struck and my wife contracted cancer and passed away, leaving me with a house full of kids and no time to work on the cottage. In 2012, work resumed on the cottage, and by 2013 I remarried. In the process, the cottage took on a different meaning as to the principles taught by Downing of using beauty to enhance functionality. So, this is the story. A cottage concept has been around for hundreds of years, and in this case, we're just trying to revive that. There's a lot of builders out there that are labeling structures as cottages. Part of the cottage concept for us is just going back to some of the fundamentals. Years ago I studied architecture at North Carolina State University and learned about Andrew Jackson Downing and some of his thoughts on how a cottage is really a place where the morals of society begin. It's in the home. It's where the home or the cottage becomes evidence of what people's morals are and what people believe in, and all the facets of family living. And so what we've come to, at least in my opinion, with the building of homes in the last, well, basically since World War II, when bloom framing came into being, is a bunch of sterile places that we call and we label them homes, but really, to me, what they've become is a sideshow as you drive down the street and all you see are garage doors. Because why? Well, the emphasis is on the garage. And if builders try to go and make it look a little more homey, they may add on the build outs made of styrofoam and stucco and you know, so there's all kinds of fakiness, all kinds of things that aren't really real. So in these cottages that we're building, that's all we're trying to do, is just bring back on a small footprint a real cottage like it would have been back 200, 300, 400 years ago. And so, gingerbread homes, it's more than a concept in cottage building. It's a trend in bringing back what makes a house a home. Fun, happy, cozy, all those things rolled together.